to suppress the wishes of a neighbouring state if they happen to be small and in their sphere of influence. That's what caused war for 1,000 years. We found a different way. That the future of nations will rest on the will of their people, be they never so small. He invites them to strike that down. And attacks with force the eastern borders of the European community, if not necessarily of the European Union. And then to our southeast, we have the entire Arab world in turmoil, a great convulsion, which seems to me to sweep away the borders of the whole of the Middle Eastern framework of nations as we know them. By the way, the place in which, in many ways, our economies are based. And then to our south, the Maghreb is in flames and infecting Africa. And then all around us, in a world of growing alternative powers, moving away from a monopolar world to a multipolar world, we find individual nations, China and India, to give you an example, but soon Brazil as well, and others, that are more powerful than any single one of the economies of the European Union. And at this moment, we really believe that the right thing is for this country is to retreat to the absolute theoretical perfect sovereignty of a cork, reduced to bobbing around behind somebody else's ocean liner. This is madness. And yet it is madness that finds traction and appeal among the people of our country. These are dangerous times. And I say that to you today because there are almost no forces now standing against it. It is difficult to be a liberal at these times. Very difficult, I remember. They were very difficult to be a liberal in Bosnia. We're not there, of course we're not, and I don't believe we'll ever get there. But there are very few. The Tory party now bends towards UKIP. What a piece of stupidity that is. Do they not realise, do they not know what happened in France? It's the very moment that the established parties begin to bend towards the extreme right. You don't kill the extreme right, you give it respectability and power. And that's what happened in France, and it's happening here too. Yet every day Mr Cameron wakes up, looks at the Daily Mail's headlines, looks at UKIP's votes, and makes a choice to lead him into positions of policies that are untamable for 36 hours, chasing after UKIP in the disgraceful way that he does. And you might have thought that Labour would stand against that, but not a bit of it. Mr Cameron, Mr Miliband now, I don't think he's our secret weapon actually, but Mr Miliband now is bending Labour towards that. Yeah, I had always presumed that the three pillars of British politics, the Tories, ourselves and Labour, could be depended upon, to be continued, to be anchored to the prospect of, to the propositions of decency. And it seems that is not happening. Somebody said to me the other day, what will you do about UKIP? And my answer was, nothing. Nothing. We will not bend one iota towards UKIP. We are the polar opposite of UKIP. And I hope we will take pride in that definition. And then I come to your Dadabhai Naroji Award. You see, here's the thing. Here's the proposition, which it seems to me that I'm not a sort of breastfeeding person very much, but that I think only the Liberal Democrats will stand against. That we will continue to campaign on the propositions of unity. I don't believe anybody else will. I don't believe anybody else will on these. And look around this room and you see it very clearly. So what I want to say to you is this. When you go out and campaign for this fabulous Member of Parliament, when you go out and campaign for Tom Bray, when you go out and campaign for your councillors, of course you're campaigning for something you need in Sutton. But you're also campaigning for something that has to be defended for decent politics in our country. It has to be defended. And only you can do that. So as you're prowling down that street in the pouring rain and it's cold and it's wet and it's midnight, of course you all distribute leaflets up to midnight, don't you? But just remember that the cause for which you fight is bigger now, I think, than it has ever been. Bigger than a fabulous Member of Parliament, bigger than that record of service you have to this community, much bigger. It depends on you. It's a tough little battle, but I think we can do it. And so I'm going to end with a poem which seems to me to express that perfectly. And looking around this room and looking at your Dadabhai Naroji Award, this is a poem written by a Bengali. So who is he? Anybody know? Come on, this is Sutton. This is a Liberal Democrat. What? No, a Bengali. Here's a wonderful poet in English, but a wonderful poet in Bengali as well. Absolutely. Give that lady a prize. If I asked that question in any other political party meeting, I wouldn't get an answer. Rabindranath Tagore lived in the early decades of the last decade, William Morris and all around there. And he wrote a poem in 1905, which is called The Celebration of Diversity. And, I mean, a very popular, fashionable thing today, but not in his day. And this is how it goes. It says, "We are all the more one, because we are many. For we have left an ample space for love in the gap where we were sundered. Our unlikeness shines with the radiance of a common creation, like mountain peaks in the morning sun." That's fabulous. You just know he has the Himalayas in mind. It is our unlikeness that is, to me, the most convincing evidence of the existence of a divine, whatever kind of divine you believe in, or indeed the evidence of our humanity. It's not our sameness, it's not our differences, it's not our divisions, it is our likeness, our unity. And so I do say to you, with all the passion that I have, at a moment I think which is deeply frightening for us all, that's what you do. That great principle, along with these great members of Parliament, and your great record, is what you go out to campaign for in the election that is now upon us. Thank you very much for asking me.